I fell in love with a guy. The dynamics of gay love, family pressure, and self-discovery. We initially attempted to end our relationship under the influence of family pressure. Then we realized that prioritizing our own happiness is essential for leading a fulfilling life. The glow of my laptop screen reflected in my tired eyes as I typed away, lines of code flowing from my fingertips like a stream of consciousness. It was late, as it often was, and our apartment was cocooned in a serene ambience, the only sounds being the rhythmic tapping of keys and the occasional muted beep of a message arriving in my inbox. In that dimly lit room, Sean was a mere few feet away, his silhouette hunched over his own laptop, deeply engrossed in a relentless battle against digital threats. Our love story had a peculiar beginning, rooted in the shared solitude of late-night coding sessions and the unspoken understanding that permeated our lives. This was the life we had both chosen, the path that had not only brought us together but also forged an unbreakable bond between us. I was fervently passionate about software engineering, enchanted by the elegant dance of algorithms and the symphony of logic that weaved through my code. Meanwhile, Sean was the stoic guardian of networks, a cybersecurity wizard whose mission was to keep the digital world safe from the lurking threats of invisible villains. Our careers had initially brought us into each other's orbit, but however, our families have been playing a significant role in driving us apart, and we have been consistently ignoring this issue and using our careers as a means to avoid addressing it. I remember the moment when I first laid eyes on Sean during a bustling tech conference. He was giving a captivating presentation on the latest trends in cybersecurity, his charisma and expertise commanding the room's attention. I couldn't help but be drawn to him, not just for his intellect but also for the spark of passion that lit up his eyes when he talked about his work. One evening after that conference, we found ourselves at the same coffee shop, both nursing cups of strong, black coffee. We struck up a conversation about our shared interests, and as the hours passed, it became evident that our connection was more than just professional. There was a warmth in his smile and a genuine curiosity in his questions that drew me in. It was in that coffee shop that the foundation of our relationship was laid, built upon a common love for technology, innovation, and the exhilarating pursuit of knowledge. Our first official date was at a cozy Italian restaurant, where we lingered over candlelight and shared stories of our respective journeys in the tech world. There was a particular incident from that evening that I often reminisced about, one that deepened our connection and made me realize how truly extraordinary Sean was. As we walked back to our cars that night, we encountered a homeless man shivering in the cold, his cardboard sign barely readable. Without hesitation, Sean took off his coat and handed it to the man, offering a genuine smile and a few kind words. It was a small but profound act of compassion, and it revealed a side of Sean that made my heart skip a beat. That night I knew there was something special between us. It was more than just a shared passion for our careers, it was the way we saw the world and the kindness that resided in Sean's heart. It was at that moment that I fell for him, and I would later learn that he felt the same way. But tonight something felt different. As I glanced over at Sean, his brow furrowed in concentration, I realized that we had become strangers in our own home. Our connection, once so strong, now seemed lost amid family expectations. I couldn't ignore it any longer. I had to speak up to address the growing divide that threatened to consume us. My fingers hesitated on the keyboard, and I finally closed my laptop with a sigh. Sean looked up from his own screen, concern etching lines into his handsome face. Sean's concerned voice broke through the silence as he asked me what was bothering me. I took a deep breath, trying to gather my thoughts before responding. The weight of our family's pressure was suffocating us, and I needed to find the right words to convey my feelings to him. Sean and I locked eyes, and I could see the same inner turmoil mirrored in his gaze. He understood my intention, and he also experienced the same feeling. Our relationship had been negatively affected by the weight of our stereotypical families. It felt as though we were two ships crossing paths in the darkness, connected by a deteriorating rope. We sat together, our emotions raw and our hearts heavy. We acknowledged the growing distance between us and the strain our families were putting on our relationship. It was a difficult realization, one that neither of us wanted to face. Sean, with a gentle tone, expressed his understanding of the situation. He knew that our families held great importance to both of us, and he couldn't simply let go of our aspirations. But I was unable to hold back my tears and reached out for Sean's hand, seeking comfort and reassurance. In a trembling voice, I confessed my fear of losing what we had if we continued down this path. I knew that something needed to change, that we needed to take a step back. During the following months, we chose to live apart, dedicating ourselves wholeheartedly to our respective careers. During that challenging period, we faced long work hours and occasional moments of loneliness. However, these experiences ultimately helped us thrive and succeed in our individual fields. Due to our demanding careers and busy schedules, we had very little contact with each other. As time went on, I achieved success in my career, but I couldn't ignore the noticeable emptiness that remained after we parted ways. As each day went by, I found myself missing him more and more, yearning for the comforting embrace of the moments we shared together. During that period, I went on several dates with different guys. However, none of those relationships worked out because I was constantly comparing them to Sean, hoping to find someone who resembled him. I felt discouraged when I couldn't find the same feelings and qualities I had with him and those other guys. This led me to make the decision to end those relationships. One day, our worlds unexpectedly collided in a fateful encounter. The announcement of my company's merger with Sean sent shockwaves through the tech industry. It was a massive deal. The news quickly spread, and when it reached me, I couldn't help but sense a feeling of destiny unfolding. The news about the merger was a big surprise, like a sudden turn in the story of my life that I hadn't expected. I was in a busy hallway, with lots of people from both companies talking about the merger. My heart was pounding with a mix of feelings. I was excited, but also a little nervous. Amidst all the chatter and commotion, I couldn't help but notice someone I knew. It was Sean, standing not too far from me. Seeing him there felt like a powerful force drawing me in, and for a brief moment, it was as if everything around us had frozen in time. After the meeting, I found myself lingering in the hallway, feeling uncertain about my next course of action. We exchanged formal pleasantries as we walked past each other. One evening, as the merger was well underway, I found myself buried under a mountain of paperwork and emails in my office. The pressure was mounting, and the weight of the merger's responsibilities was taking its toll. With a heavy sigh, I glanced at the clock. It was already past midnight. Just when I thought I couldn't handle another minute of it, a knock on the door interrupted my thoughts. It was Sean, holding a tray with 2 steaming cups of coffee and a plate of sandwiches. He wore a knowing smile as if he could read my exhaustion. "Thought you might need some sustenance," Sean said, setting the tray down on the cluttered desk. "And maybe a break." As we sat together in the dimly lit office, sharing stories and laughter over our late-night meal, it hit me. It wasn't just the caffeine and camaraderie that warmed my heart, it was the undeniable bond we shared. At that moment, I realized that even amidst the chaos of the merger, Sean still cared deeply for me, and I felt that familiar surge of love and longing I thought I had lost. It was a reminder that our connection was as strong as ever, and our love was still very much alive. One day, the merger process hit a major snag, and my stress levels were through the roof. I felt overwhelmed, drowning in a sea of deadlines and negotiations. In a desperate attempt to find a solution, I decided to take a walk to clear my head. As I wandered the corporate campus, I unexpectedly ran into Sean, who was also dealing with his own set of merger-related challenges. Without hesitation, Sean offered a sympathetic ear, listening attentively as I vented my frustrations and fears. He didn't offer solutions or advice, he simply provided unwavering support. At that moment, I realized just how much I had missed having Sean as a confidant and source of strength. Sean's genuine concern and empathy washed away the doubts that had clouded my mind. It was a stark reminder that, despite our careers and the distance that had grown between us, our love had not diminished. It was a bond that went beyond professional obligations, and in that moment of vulnerability, I knew that I still loved Sean deeply, and that our connection remained unbreakable. Something incredible happened on the day of the merger. It felt as though the universe had conspired to bring us closer together. In the midst of a whirlwind of meetings and negotiations, Sean and I managed to find a brief moment alone. The atmosphere was filled with tension and excitement as the merger approached, and it became increasingly difficult for us to conceal our emotions. In a secluded corner of the office, our hearts pounding, we mustered the courage to express our true feelings for one another. The moment was characterized by vulnerability, honesty, and the realization that our love had never truly diminished. On that day, we made a mutual agreement to give our relationship another opportunity, to reignite the spark that we had lost. When we began seeing each other again, it felt like returning home. We laughed, shared our dreams, and gradually re-established the connection that had previously defined us. After being back together for about a month, we made a life-changing decision. We decided to get married. 3 years have passed since that remarkable day, and our lives have transformed in the most wonderful way. We are now blissfully married. Our journey together has been a profound teacher, imparting a lesson that has become the cornerstone of our love story sometimes. Amidst life's chaos, it's essential to take a step back, pause, and gain a fresh perspective. It was during this introspective pause that we discovered what truly matters: our relationship, the beating heart of our existence. Our demanding careers, once the driving forces of our lives, now found their place as important but not all-consuming aspects. We realized that prioritizing our relationship above all else was the key to happiness. This newfound insight allowed us to strike a harmonious balance between our professional commitments and our personal connections. Every moment we spent together became a treasure, a testament to the love that had withstood the tests of time and distance. The decision to take a break was a pivotal moment, one we will forever cherish. It was during this hiatus that we gained a deeper understanding of the importance of nurturing our love. We learned that it's not about choosing between career and love, but finding a way to make them coexist harmoniously. In the end, our break strengthened our bond, and we are eternally grateful for having made that choice, for it led us to a life filled with love, understanding, and a beautiful sense of balance.